with Virginia Rawlins. How you doing, sweetheart?
I'm good.
Good. You look tired.
I told you that, you guys always make me feel like I'm a real professional. I like that.
Cause you are. and I feel like we created this show to like really shine a light on people who are doing the damn thing. And don't need like a lot of prompting. They just figure it out. And they're gonna help people along the way figure it out too. And so like we're getting into this show because there's a lot of fluff out there. And not to say that it's bad fluff. I like to get right to it. And I'll start like this. Why are you doing what you do? Tell us a little bit about what you do. Because you do a lot of different things. What is some of the top things you're doing right now? And obviously tell us about your business.
Right. So my business is Building Blocks Together. You're right. I am doing a lot. And I think everything that I'm going to go through has one kind of shoestring, I don't know, something connecting it. And that's kind of raising the Black homeownership rate and getting more Black minorities into properties. So some of the things that I'm doing through the company, grant administration. I have a first-time homebuyer grant that you were actually a recipient of.
Yes.
So thanks for working with me. Shout out to you guys for getting that.
Yes.
Also preparing people for homeownership through education, homebuyer panels, looking to work with local organizations and kind of get their eyes on, I guess, a special lens on reaching the people that they claim they want to reach. I think Building Blocks is small, but has the opportunity to be flexible and be a connector, if you will, to existing organizations. So just trying to tie all that together with the real estate development in there, put a bow on it.
Yeah. So what's some of the big issues you're facing when it comes to working with our people? Because we're special.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say we're like, it's in a bad way. It's just that we need a lot of assistance. And so you seem to have a wraparound effect. How are you putting those tools to work? Like you just coming from, where you coming from?
Walking store, actually, in a warehouse district.
Tell us about that.
So that Together Tuesdays in partnership with Flagship Ultra. Shout out to Swain.
Shout out to Swain.
Shout out to Swain. Just trying to get people in the properties, get eyes on, certain properties. And then the second part of that is the Talk and Taste, which will be later on today, which is just, we saw the property earlier. How can we bring our resources together and buy these properties, acquire these properties? So kind of, one part of that is there's the property, bringing a horse to the water, and then almost having the horses, if you will, kind of invest in that water.
Yeah. And so how is that going? Because Black people and money. We love to spend on unnecessary shit.
Yeah.
How are we shifting that? I feel like you're shifting that paradigm. And so what are some of the tools you're using to put that thing together? So
I think, we like to spend on some bullshit. But I think more than that, I think we're scared of homeownership, right? Because I think we know the history of redlining and just the history of dealing with these institutions. There's a mistrust there.
Yeah.
So when you have the bank or whomever, the land bank, asking for your taxes, your pay stubs, some of your most personal items, of course there's apprehension of submitting those items, right? And so you say, no, I'm good. I don't, this is not for me, right? And so I think that's not an issue. I think the issue is that we don't turn around and then use cash, right, to then buy these assets. If we don't want to be on paper, so to speak, we still have to get these assets, and that's just not what's happening. So I think that's kind of, a bigger issue. Yeah.
I would like to say, and I know we touched on it briefly, thank you for the grant. It was one of the easier processes of the whole homeownership process. And so I like that. It was like wham bam, like, oh, you trying to do this? Cool, this is the application, put this through, send this through. I know you've added some steps of late.
It's actually all the same steps. I think thanks Shade for just being on top of everything, because she just wrapped it all in a nice bow. But it's all the same 8 steps. But I mean, really, we want So I'm not the funder. TUI Foundation is the funder of the grant. But Charles Tui specifically, he doesn't like paperwork.
Right.
And I like it even less. So we're working in that way together. But also, we don't want to give you more paperwork, right? That's one of the hurdles we just spoke about, to deter people from, getting this grant. It's essentially free money. There's no lien against your property. There's no prepayment penalties.
Right.
There has been some slight changes in the location of where the eligible grant is now. But essentially, it's free money. Like, why would you not submit the paperwork that your bank is already going to give you anyway to now get some literally free money?
Right.
So, yeah.
So when we see that, Nina was like, oh, gets on that.
Yes,
we
absolutely.
Need some of that.
Yeah. And she blessed the website.
Yes.
And she blessed the website.
Yo, shout out the website, yo. Like,
oh, man.
How was that process? Because we were...
Can we take a pause? No, so the website, I love the website. But I said, let's take a pause because I remember meeting you when I was still at the land bank for the logo. And you was like, what? Took your notes real quick.
Yeah.
And then you was like, all right, go off, sis. And every time I meet you, I give you like a couple little ideas, like what you working on now.
Mm-hmm.
And you be like, all right, go off, sis. And I be like, people keep telling me to go. And I'm just going.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm going. But so you've always been like, even before the logo was, created and the whole business was there, you was there. So I think that's cool.
And I think with every time we've linked up, it's always been like a bounce, and we're just bouncing energies, right? And like seeing you starting this, like the website dropping was like the mark of you like doing this shit full time.
Yeah.
And so tell us about how that process has been going, because you're transferring from having multiple hats to now putting all those hats into one under one house. How has that process been going for you?
Yeah, so the website dropped. I was at work for a little bit longer, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I've been in it full time. I was just like, I'm gonna have so much time to do all these things that I thought my job was stopping me from doing, and it turns out I actually need 12 more hours. Now that I'm in it full time, I need 12 more hours to my day to get through just one day of work.
You got to dip into those Saturdays.
That was great.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I didn't want to work 9 to 5, so now I work 24/7.
There it is.
No, I think it's great. I've been able to kind of just like focus on content creation, doing live stuff, kind of honing programming, I'm working on the rollout for the housing counseling services the top of next year. So just really
tell us a little bit more about that.
Just lining it up the way I guess I've always envisioned it. So basically next year I have a one-on-one program. I'll basically be walking people from the rooter to the tutor, right? Yeah. So if you have 500 credit score, 600, 700, 800, whatever, $0 in the bank, 100,000 in the bank, whatever. We're meeting you where you are, and basically kind of preparing you for home ownership. Obviously, if your journey is gonna look different, if you're starting with that 550, no savings, if that's you, right, versus somebody who's 850. Not really preparing for home ownership, but subconsciously just kind of responsible with their money and already have somewhat of a savings. So their journey is just going to look a little bit different than somebody else, right? Yeah. Then you have somebody who's a renter, right? Like just deep in rentals. They're absolutely not ready for home ownership right now, but that's when the programming comes in. We have some free programming. I usually use it to plant seeds, right? Because people go to the workshops, they're like, this is great. I didn't want to buy a house, but I'm ready right now. Yeah. Tell me what I need to do. So that's always what I love to hear. And just everything just coming together. So
beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you, like, cause I see you. I was like, yo, sis, post some more on Instagram, like, cause she be on Instagram heavy. Yeah. She be like, I'd be like, yo, post on your actual like business account, page. Like the same stuff, but just on your business account. And to see you apply it, it's been really, really good, because I feel like now the light is starting to flicker, and I was like, I'm like shooting new business opportunities. Like, yo, we should do shirts now.
Yeah. I think I've been, I guess in many ways, almost like afraid of my own success, especially like as it pertains to building blocks. And so I've been like slow to do a couple things. You, Matt, Swing, Kai, just a whole bunch of people like, do this. I'm like, I can't because of this, and I can't because of that. And you're like, all right. So the stuff that I'm doing now is some of the stuff that y'all been telling me to do for a couple years now. And I'm like,
It ain't that.
I could have did this like 2 years ago.
Could have did this.
So now I think everything's happening the time it's supposed to. But you're right, like everything's like clicking, getting following, getting like people like DM me, where's the events? When's your next event? What's happening? So yeah.
Yeah, like you had we were talking in post or pre-production. It was raining outside, and y'all walkthrough still had numbers. It still had you still had people there.
Yeah.
Like, so you are building like a little cult, not a cult. I didn't say that.
Yeah.
Like a nice little following around these walkthroughs because you're literally holding their hands every step of the way. Why are you doing it this way? Because some people are very hands off. Some people are like, like you doing too much. Like, why are you going so hard like that?
That's just really the only way that it works for us, right? Well, when the rappers are doing, telling you about this person and Hennessy and that drink and this label and Amiri and that person, they're all in your face with it.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm about to be all in your face with these properties, right?
Yes.
That's what we respond to.
What's up?
I mean, and to be honest with you, now that the rappers are not receiving cards for their birthday and they're starting to gift each other with lands, I'm seeing the posts change a little bit too, right? So, we are now, land is cool. I saw that you was doing that little property thing.
Yeah.
Can we talk? Can we set up a meeting? This is what I'm doing. This is my credit. So we're just that type of people though, right? Just for example, so a couple years ago, I went to AHP, their first time home buyer class, right? And I was like, I got a job. I've been working for 2 years. I'm gonna go to this, right? And I went, and that's it.
Yeah.
I just left it right there, right?
Right.
I think even for me, who was quote unquote motivated, right? I was just like, there's no follow-up. There's no real like social media presence. There are not in any of the community events that I go to, none of the places I frequent. So it's just, it's not in your face, right?
Right.
A lot of people meet me now, or I've met, over the last year or so, and they're like, I see brother blocks together all the time. It was like, who's on your team? And I'm like,
it's kind of just me.
I am the team. And they're like, oh my God, that's great. I see you everywhere. I see your posts. You're this, you're there, you're doing this, that. So I think the fact that I've been consistently in everybody's face for the last, I want to say like 3 years now, they're like, all right, this girl won't shut up.
Yeah.
What is it about these properties that we actually need to see? Because you're still on this. So
yeah, maybe
we should show it to one of these walking tours. And see what's up.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta believe it a little bit more than everybody else, and then like the clock, you know what I mean, comes around. It's like, and then it starts to hit those little seeds you put in the ground.
And I think for me, I think especially 2020, we had a couple different conversations. We had conversations about like growing our own food, having our own land, not feeling safe in our own neighborhoods.
Yeah.
We had conversations about wealth, and all those things to me in some way kind of relate to real estate.
Yeah.
And then I think, everybody in the Tri-City area, very community oriented, basically taking care of each other, right?
Yeah.
Where the municipalities fail, like we have, for better or worse, stepped in.
Right.
I'm talking book bags, I'm talking food, I'm talking shelter.
Yeah.
I'm talking somebody had a fire, GoFundMe pages, right? I think just all those types of things, if you had literally one property, right, that's designated to, this is gonna be our food drive property. Let's say just one of those things, right? Now you have passive income that's not out your main pocket, out your main paycheck, that's now paying for your food drives.
Yeah.
Right? Now you can do bigger food drives, more comprehensive food drives. Instead of the small ones, now we have a citywide food drive, or we have a Tri-City food drive happening simultaneously that's paid for by the people, right?
I think the problem,
but that's just like forward thinking for me, right? It's like I don't want to complain about the municipality and then go with my hand out to the municipality like, can you help me out, feed my community, take care of my community, but you have disinvested in for the last however many years.
Yeah. And I think it's we're not putting our steps forward. Obviously since we spoke, since 1010, was it 11?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've been building. And so our goal is to always, we're gonna do it with without your help. We're gonna show you what you could do without your help, but hey, connect the dots, and this could be a big thing. And so you being your own entity. And another thing about our people sometimes is we don't tend to just building blocks. You just building these blocks, and 10 years from now, those co-op, those little land pieces is whole fields. That one property is now a whole block. And so I'm glad that you're putting these pieces together, sis. Which is why we brought you on this show, so we could just highlight you and tell you thank you for doing the work that you're doing, and continue to inspire and keep connecting the dots for people.
Thank you for having me. But no, so like even 21 Lex, people say that's your building. I'll be quick to correct them. Look, I bought it with some partners, right?
Yeah.
But I want people to know that first buy, right, especially an investment property, might not be by yourself.
Yeah.
You might not have the financial capacity or credit or resources to acquire and rehab, or acquire and run a building by yourself the first time, right? Yeah. So you might need a couple of like-minded people to go on with you and say, all right, we split this, and then we'll rob Peter to pay Paul. We do it anyway. Why not do it to have an asset that's going to be paying us in 2 years, 3 years tops, right? Yeah. That building's going to pay for itself a zillion times over.
Now, it's good that we end on this. Tell us a little bit more about this building. What is it going to do when it's fully up and running? First, congratulations on getting it.
Bless.
You've been talking about it, and you've been speaking it into existence.
Nah, like I high-key bullied the land bank.
You bullied them?
No, like high-key. Listen, so I started. I'm telling you guys. So I think this is like really like manifestation. I think this is what they mean when they say that, right? So I'm like, 21 Lex, and I knew it was no real buildings of that, mixed use. Anywhere
had
really.
A little bit of everything in there,
right? That I was going to be able to afford, basically. And so I basically started a campaign on social media.
Yeah.
And it was like, why not me? I already had the real estate thing going, and I was just like, they was like, oh, you want 21 Lex? Cool. So start making my phone calls. Land bank called me like, Virginia, I heard you wanted 21 Lex. What's up? I'm like, oh, y'all want to give it to me? They were like, no. You can apply for it.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. I got my shoe in the door, so I mean, it worked out. But when the building's complete, it's basically going to be a resource center. Well, first and foremost, my headquarters, but more generally, a resource center. We have, obviously Eva, just Kizzy, just everybody, right? We all in some capacity doing the work.
Beautiful.
I do want people to have access to that, especially at that intersection, right? I think that intersection needs healing.
A lot. I grew up. One of my first babysitters was literally 4 doors down from that space.
Yeah, and I think even just you go out today, like it's the site of violence every summer, at least multiple times this summer. And honestly, I want to get that building up. So when that does happen, we can start tapping on City Hall, like, yo, clean this up.
Yeah.
You got people here who bought the building. Y'all didn't want to buy this building.
Right.
Y'all didn't want to invest in this neighborhood. We did it, right? Clean this neighborhood up now.
Right.
Now you got clean people that live here that care about it. So we need your help with this part, right?
They just need more people there that care.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm glad you in there.
Absolutely.
With some hitters.
Yeah. Because I think, and I tell people like the interviews and the articles and all that stuff is good because you need the fluff to kind of bring in what I call BLM dollars. But you really the walking tours and really connecting people to the resources and connecting to people to other social human capital as well is important. It's going to bring us to that end goal of ownership and kind of just buying the block too. So.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, sis. Tell us where they can find you at.
We're on Building Blocks Together, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Shout out to Mr. Moore and his many skills and patience for my unprofessional. My unprofessional sometimes timeliness. But no, Deshaun did like completely good on the website. Like I have like people going on the website today like, whoa, who did your website? Anytime that the people like, I need a logo, I need somebody to do a photo shoot, I need somebody to do a website, I'm always tagging Deshaun. I'm sure he's just like, yo, I know she knows that I can't do all of this, right? But no, he's awesome. And check the website out, Instagram, Facebook, like I said. Might catch me locally doing property tours, never know.
Hey, this is Do Something Podcast. It's been great to have you. We'll be on Spotify. We'll be on YouTube and Facebook. Check us out on all streaming platforms.
Go do something.
Boom.
Building blocks. Collective effort.
Gang.
Hashtag it.
Gang.
Gang.